Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Modern Indian History series. One announcement for you, we are about to finalize a mentorship program. You will get the details of mentorship program completely in coming days. We will launch different courses. For further details, please keep following the IAS Mentor channel. Let us continue the second chapter. Already we have seen the general conditions of 18th century. In 18th century itself, politically, India was divided into multiple kingdoms. That itself, that concept, that topic itself is very, very important to understand entire modern Indian history. And it is also the episode in our Indian history that we continuously need to remember this. Not only for the examination, for examination point of view, many prelims as well as mains questions are coming. Even for the administration purpose, even for the political unity and integrity of the country itself, we need to learn some lessons from this development in our past. In 18th century, after the death of Aurangzeb, different regions started declaring independence. Today we are having how many states? 28 states and 8 union territories. You imagine, today we are a centralized, that means constitution has created federal system where union government is more powerful than the state governments. Constitution of India has intentionally given this provision because not to repeat the same mistake what has happened in this particular time period. This is only one episode of our history. Earlier also happened, and before that also, since ancient times, whenever central government is weak, then India divides into multiple kingdoms, then external invasions used to take place, and once again to unify the country, it takes so many centuries. After the death of Aurangzeb, different regional administrators started behaving themselves as the independent rulers. If Delhi is strong, even if some regional kingdoms or regional administrator want to become independent, it is not possible because immediately Delhi will respond. Delhi will send the army, immediately punish them, and once again integrate. Today we have 28 states. Suppose you imagine if a chief minister of any of these 28 states declare independence. Now immediately what central government will respond? Immediately army will go. Chief minister will be removed. Anti-national activities, immediately it will come under, not under directly chief minister administration or governor administration, direct central administration. Central government will rule the state through governor. That is what Indian constitution mechanism. But when it comes to this time period, there was no strong administrator in Delhi. As a result, one after the other, many kingdoms emerged. British took the advantage of it, French took the advantage of it, and they started conquering one by one. Do you see how dangerous? That is why if India should not break now, we have to know what has happened at this point of time. Regional kingdoms. If you want to see the map at this point of time, this is how it looks. Identify this one. Here do you see Rajputana, Awadh, Bengal, then Nizam, Mysore, Marathas. Could you see this? This is how it looks. Next, some other map. Could you see this? Awadh, Bengal, Maratha, Hyderabad, Mysore, Punjab. These are all independent. These are all independent kingdoms, but actually they are supposed to be part of Mughal Empire. If Mughal Emperor is very strong, if Delhi is very strong, they will not behave independently. Rather, they behave like provinces. Like today, all these regions are the states of Delhi, states of union. So we are the collection of states, but our government is union government, try to administer each and every inch of the country. But at this point of time, these people were independent. They want to expand their empire. Hyderabad wanted to expand its kingdom. Mysore wanted to expand its kingdom. Bengal wanted, Awadh wanted. Like this, Punjab wanted. Now, when everyone wanted to expand their empires, their kingdoms, now what is going to be the result? The result is very simple. Indian kings only will start fighting with each other. When Indian kings started fighting with each other, naturally, will India is going to become stronger or weaker? India becomes weaker. When India becomes weaker, automatically the external powers, they will take the advantage of this unity, the disunity among Indians and weakness among the Indians, and then they will start ruling. That's what exactly happened. British started controlling one after the other, and after some time, entire India became colony of the British Empire. What is the size of British United Kingdom or the England? Very, very fraction of Indian land. But that a small tiny island could rule this much big empire. Could you identify? The reason being, one hand, the strength of the British, that is technologically they are advanced, diplomatically advanced. On the other hand, weakness of India. One of the greatest weaknesses of this time period is disunity among Indians. When Indians only started fighting among Indians, they took the advantage. That is why we should not repeat the same mistake. Then only as a India, as a single country, we can survive. Let me draw the map. Here, from the examination point of view, we have to know who are these kingdoms, what are the names of these kingdoms, and who are the founders of these independent kingdoms. Generally, it was divided into three different type of states. This is Delhi. Mughal emperor is supposed to manage there. There are different provinces. Province. That means Bengal is a province. It's not a separate kingdom, it's a province of Mughal Empire. Awadh is a province. Hyderabad is a province. When Delhi became weak, they started behaving like this independently. Bengal became independent. Awadh became independent kingdom. Hyderabad became independent. Independent in the sense they will go for wars. They will make treaties. They will collect the taxes. And if they wish, they will send the taxes to Delhi. Otherwise, they will keep for themselves. That means, suppose if Delhi is independent, we need not to share our income tax and our taxes with other country. Do we? We will not. That's what sovereignty means. Sovereign. We are completely independent. Whatever happens in our territory, that is up to us. Sovereign. This is what they tried to maintain their sovereignty, but for nominal sake, for namesake, they used to say that we are still part of Mughal Empire. Namesake, they say that we are part of Delhi, but for all practical purposes, in reality, they were behaving like emperors of their own territory. Generally, if Delhi is very strong, immediately army goes and immediately punish them and once again bring back. Delhi can replace the king if Delhi is strong. But here Delhi is not able to replace these people who are behaving independently. That shows a weakness of Delhi. Meanwhile, Delhi itself is coming under attacks from external threats. That's what Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah Abdali. Because when you are united, then no one will touch you. People are afraid. Because when you are united, you will have big treasury, big army, you will have greater power. Then even outside powers also will not touch. Here, these kingdoms are examples of the kings who became, who started behaving independently, but they were supposed to be part of Mughal Empire. That's why there is a term called successor states. These type of states are called Bengal, Awadh, Hyderabad, successor states. Successor means after Mughal Empire, they were continuing the Mughal type of administration, the Mughal taxation system. They were behaving like Mughal administrators only, but still they will not completely will not go under the control of Delhi. Delhi itself is weak. Successor states. Some states were independent. Some states were independent in the sense they were already not part of Mughal Empire earlier. They became independent because of some other reason. Here there is a kingdom called Mysore. Mysore was a province under Vijayanagara Empire earlier. Vijayanagara Empire. After the disintegration of Vijayanagara Empire, this province became independent. It's like same thing. When Delhi becomes weak, they became independent kingdoms. When Vijayanagara kingdom became weak and it became separate. Mysore kingdom. That is an example of second type, independent kingdoms. Independent kingdoms. That means they were part of earlier one empire and later became independent. Now, a completely new type of kingdoms emerged. That means they have built from the scratch. Earlier they were not there. When it comes to Mysore, it was there. During Vijayanagara Empire period also, it was there. Later it became independent. But there were certain kingdoms, they were not such kind of states at all, no kingdoms. But one person is going to build from the scratch. Those were called newly emerging states or newly emerged kingdoms like Marathas. Maratha state kingdom did not exist before Shivaji. Shivaji established a small kingdom. He declared himself as independent ruler. Then he is not a successor of Mughal Empire. It's completely different. He even fought with Aurangzeb. His successors also fought with Aurangzeb. They established their own empire, Maratha Empire. This type of states are called, third one, new kingdoms. Successor states which were part of British Mughal Empire became independent. Independent new kingdoms. One more newly established kingdom is Sikh kingdom or Sikh empire. Example, likewise. As part of independent, Rajputs also you can consider independent. Because since Akbar times they were behaving independently only. They were there, but they were behaving independently. After Aurangzeb, they are going to rule for themselves. In this manner, three types of kingdoms emerged after the death of Aurangzeb. What are they? Identify. Bengal, separate kingdom. Awadh kingdom. Hyderabad kingdom. But they were, in theory, they were saying that we are part of Delhi, but practically they are behaving independently. Such kind of kingdoms are called successor states. There were some kingdoms, they were existing earlier also, but when their masters completely weak and they started continuously behaving independently completely. That is Mysore and Rajputana. There were certain kingdoms which were not at all existing earlier, newly established in 18th century. That is Maratha Empire. Another one is Sikh Empire. In this manner, three different type of kingdoms emerged. Now, what is the result of this? This is what happening in 1800 in 1700s. When it is happening in 1700s, say like in 1720s onwards, Aurangzeb died in 1707. Within just hardly after 10 years, they started behaving independently. By 1740s, by 1740s, they became more powerful. Delhi became very weak. Delhi became weaker in comparison with them. They became more powerful than Delhi. As a result, Delhi itself is not able to protect its own territory. That's why it attracted immediately the foreign aggressors. So every foreign country always wants some territory from India. Only when you are strong, you will not allow it. But when you are weak, they will find opportunity. Delhi itself got attacked. Delhi itself was attacked by the foreign invasions. Now, if Delhi itself attacked by foreign invasions, now do you think they are going to respect Delhi at all? Then they got the opportunity. They took this as an opportunity to behave even more independent manner. Now, this is what watched. When these developments are happening, all these developments are watched by already some European factories are there. Europeans were already there and they were watching these developments. Now, what is the problem when so many powers are continuously fighting with each other means? This is independent. Now they will start fighting because there will be always a territorial dispute and they will start fighting. They will start fighting. That is why Marathas, Hyderabad and Mysore, they used to frequently fight. Marathas used to fight with Bengal and Marathas in fact expanded their empire. At one point of time, they became so powerful. This is what the empire, Maratha Empire. At one point of time, this was the empire of Marathas. Can you identify this? All these regions. Now, when it is expanding its empire, now it has to compete with Hyderabad. That's why frequent fights. Mysore, frequent fights. And it was frequent fight with them. At one point of time, Delhi itself came under Marathas. Delhi emperor himself was under the protection of Marathas. Now, when Marathas were doing like this, Marathas were expanding. Now, the neighboring empire, when it also wanted to expand towards this side, conflict is going to happen. Now, Indians only, Indians, Hyderabad, Marathas, Mysore, Marathas and Bengal. Then Hyderabad, Marathas, Hyderabad, Mysore. Then Mysore, Hyderabad, Mysore, Marathas. Same thing. Indians only fighting with Indians. That's what exactly Indian constitution today says, that if there is any dispute between the states, Supreme Court will resolve it. Central government will resolve it. They cannot mobilize the military and they cannot solve their disputes with violence. Otherwise, if Indian states only competing with each other in violent manner, then people are not going to unite. They are going to divide always. This is what. Everyone is ambitious. They wanted to expand their territories. What are the different types of states? These are the states. Successor states, independent states, and newly established states. If we take Hyderabad, one after the other, let us, you will get some people name here. Remember, you will get some of the people, and these are the people and the facts that are important for the preliminary examination. When it comes to mains examination, there is a question that how come a small company, East India Company, if you compare with the British Indian Empire, East India Company is something very small one of the companies of a country. How can this much big territory was conquered by small few people called East India Company officials? And most importantly, East India Company soldiers were also from India only. That means Indian soldiers conquered India but ruled by British East India Company. Why it happened? One of the major factor is this one. When Indian kingdoms were continuously fighting, there is continuous enmity among Indian rulers only. Second aspect, within each kingdom, again there was power struggle was going on. Suppose if Hyderabad you take, there will be so many contenders who will become Hyderabad ruler. When the succession struggles were going on, the European powers used to go to the opposite side. French will support one contender, English will support the other contender. Whoever becomes successful, now that European power is going to take advantage. In some cases, English only sponsored some people to become the next ruler. Initially, they did not sponsor. Initially, they just were participating in the game that when two contenders were fighting, they just supported. But after some time, they got confidence. They themselves started choosing some people and they made some people as the rulers. That took place in Carnatic region, Bengal region, Hyderabad region, like that. So one reason is Indians divided. Second one, within each kingdom, succession struggles were going on. Who is going to become the next ruler? Succession wars within the kingdoms. Third one, what is the science and technological development? When Indians were fighting like this, can they improve their technology? If Mughal emperors were strong, after some time they would have improved the navy, improved the modern military system. But when you are busy with fighting with your own kingdoms, now your traditional warfare only continued. They could not foresee what kind of dangers are coming from the new technologies. Except barring exception of Marathas. Marathas, they developed certain navy. During Shivaji time period itself, navy developed. But that is not nowhere matched with European navy strength. The naval strength of Europeans was strong, superior, because they were continuously developing their technology for a very long time period. When Indians were busy in fighting amongst ourselves, they could not see the danger. They see only Indian rulers only as the enemies. And when it comes to Indian traditional warfare, that was going on in different kingdoms. But they were not able to see the danger from people who are coming to India from outside. So, technologically less advanced. No unity, succession struggles within the kingdom, no technological development. And as a result, on the other side, their strength, European powers' strength, all these made British successful. This is how, when it comes to mains answer writing. When it comes to preliminary examination, some specific facts are going to come that who are the different rulers from different kingdoms. And these are the facts you need to remember. One by one, let me write this. Various rulers. Delhi. Many rulers after Aurangzeb. I don't want to bombard you with so many facts, and those many facts are also not required, but important facts only we require. Some examples like Farooq Siyar, Muhammad Shah. Some rulers after Aurangzeb, after 1707, within a decade, by 1720, many rulers changed. Some rulers become the emperor. They were killed by contenders. Some rulers died out of poison. Their own ministers poisoned. Some rulers died out of some kind of illness. In this way, by 1720, so many people came and gone. But if you take the number of years, how many years Aurangzeb ruled? Almost for 50 years. Akbar also almost 50 years. Shah Jahan, Jahangir, 30 years, like that. Single ruler for many times. In those times, a single ruler used to rule for so many years. Some rulers in France and England, they ruled even for more than 60, 70 years also, single ruler only. As a result, what happens? They were going to have strong power in their hands, concentration of their power. But when emperors are changing, then the loyalties of the administrators also will change. Every administrator, the powerful administrator, wanted to have their own puppet rulers. When this kind of conspiracy, continuous politics are going on in Delhi, even some efficient administrators cannot work under these circumstances. They feel that why to be part of, it's like in the present day context, why to become, when you don't have power in the central government, why to be part of a minister in the cabinet ministry in central government? Rather, I will go to my state and I become chief minister. At least in my state, I am the most powerful one, chief minister. If a person is offered whether a chief minister post for a state or a kind of cabinet berth, most of the people select a chief minister only. In the same manner, that is in the present day context, but it doesn't mean chief minister will declare independence. Here, it is what happening now. Some people, efficient people, don't want to be ministers in Delhi because Delhi itself is like this, continuous conspiracies. Some ministers went to distant areas and they started behaving independently. So this person was Nizamul Mulk. Hyderabad was established by a person called Nizam ul Mulk. Likewise, one person here, one person in Bengal, one person in Awadh also. When it comes to Awadh, the person is Sadat Khan. Sadat Khan, Awadh. When it comes to Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan. Murshid Quli Khan. Likewise, Nizam al Mulk, Murshid Quli Khan, and Sadat Khan. They established their kingdoms likewise. When it comes to this independent kingdoms like Wadayar, the kingdom name is Mysore. The dynasty is Wadayar dynasty. Remember this. These are the names. One of the prelims question is Wadayar dynasty ruled which kingdom? Mysore kingdom. Mysore kingdom emerged out of which empire? Vijayanagara empire. So this is successor states to Vijayanagara empire, not to the Mughal empire. Vijayanagara empire. And Marathas, they were continuously expanding like this. Marathas. Shivaji established this kingdom, Maratha kingdom. He was living up to 1680. Later, his successors, for some time they were strong and after some time they were weak. But real Maratha power emerged from some chief ministers called Peshwas. Peshwa is like a prime minister post under Shivaji administration. Shivaji created one administrative system called Ashtapradhan. That means 8 ministers will be there in his council of ministers. The first person or the most important person in his Ashtapradhan, Peshwa. That means like prime minister. If you consider Shivaji is like president and president is having prime minister and other ministers also in the present day context. But in those times, rulers were very powerful. Today, president is nominal head. That's what Peshwa was the most powerful one. After Shivaji, after the weak successors continuously coming in, even in Maratha Empire also, prime minister called Peshwa became powerful, and under the leadership of Peshwa, they started expanding. Rulers will be there, Chhatrapati will be there, but now Chhatrapati is in the hands of prime minister. Prime minister was taking decisions and they were expanding their empire. Marathas. When it comes to Punjab region, Punjab, there were so many small states. So many small states. They were called measles, small groups, under the leadership of a capable ruler called Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh, by 1800s, Sikh empire also established. Sikh empire. So now you have to remember from the examination point of view, which kingdom associated with which ruler. Like this. There was one kingdom called here Rohilkhand. Some kingdom called Jat kingdom, Rajput kingdoms. Likewise, small kingdoms emerged and some big kingdoms like this. And these big kingdoms, the people who are behind this emergence also you have to remember. Murshid Quli Khan Bengal, Sadat Khan Awadh, Nizamul Mulk Hyderabad, Shivaji Maratha Empire, Wadayar dynasty. Rulers are not important. The dynasty name is Wadayar dynasty, Mysore. But after some time, this Wadayar dynasty again, like in this case, now you see what is some unique development is happening here. Up to 1600s and 1700s, rulers were very powerful. Ministers were working under the rulers. But now a unique situation is emerging. Rulers are not powerful, whereas ministers are powerful. Sometimes ministers are replacing the kings also. Whoever ministers support the king and he is becoming the king. And now, if you become the king with the support of someone, that someone will become powerful. That someone is either prime minister or military general. It could be any person. Similarly, Wadayar dynasty also. Here, rulers became weak. Military general called Hyder Ali became powerful and he ruled again nominally Wadayar dynasty, but practically Hyder Ali was ruling. After Hyder Ali, his son Tippu Sultan ruled. Tippu Sultan ruled. Identify what is happening here. You have to remember these people names. Remember, it is also one of the mains question also. Prelims perspective, you have to remember the names of the people associated with different kingdoms. From the mains perspective, this is what the political system of 18th century. Now I am writing the points. These points are very important from the mains point of view also. Indian kingdoms. Indian kingdoms. Many kingdoms. Second, and these kingdoms were continuously fighting. Continuously fighting. And what is the military of these people also? Traditional military. Traditional military did not improve technology. Science and technology did not progress much, except in few places, like in some of the Rajput kingdoms. Science and technology did not progress much. Marathas created a strong navy, but it could not match with European navy. Did not improve technology. Next, fifth one, no unity. When they were continuously fighting, there will be no unity. And also, when it comes to administration also, no proper administration. For example, if Marathas want to collect the tax, how they are going to collect the tax? there is no proper tax collection mechanism. Then how they get the revenue means, whenever Marathas people raid the neighboring kingdoms, that raiding, that itself is an income to the state. That means whenever war happens, whenever raid take place, spoils of the war is a resource for the state. If that is the kind of taxation system, do you think that is going to be sustainable? Now, suppose if they enter into Bengal, when they enter into Bengal, they are going to loot so many things, and whatever they bring from the spoils of the war, that is going to become state treasury. And as a result, what happens? Bengal feel aggrieved. In the similar manner, when they enter into Hyderabad state, again this kind of looting. When Hyderabad enter into some other kingdom, again looting. That's what when it comes to when it comes to Persian Emperor looting. Afghanistan Emperor is looting the neighboring country. This is the kind of political system. They used to consider this is also part of state revenue. Going to the neighboring country, looting it and getting it. If you conquer it, then you have to create one centralized administration so that you protect the peasants and peasants will pay the tax. That is what proper administration means. But here that is not happening here because they are relatively young kingdoms. Generally, it takes some time to have a mature administrative system. But these are very young kingdoms. Now, they were not able to have this kind of mature administration. As a result, what happened? The tax collection mechanism is not efficient. Corruption also take place in that. And only when they depend on spoils of the war, then it is not going to be sustainable one. When the need comes, the kingdoms are not going to come together because they themselves affected with each other. They are not going to come together when there is a common enemy also. For example, British are going to be the enemy of Hyderabad also, Mysore also, Marathas also, but they will never come together. On the other hand, even if the Indian kingdoms come together, British diplomacy is very strong. They will divide immediately the ranks. That is the strength of this side. Now, when it comes to this, the salaries of the people also or the salaries of the soldiers also not going to be regular one. On the other hand, this very important mains question already asked also. Why, despite few people were there in East India Company, how they could rule entire India? Our weakness and their strength. On the other hand, East India Company, or for now, you have to write French and English. On the other side, European powers. Their strength is their navy. Second one, the army is very disciplined. Disciplined army. Salaries are regular. Regular salaries. Regular training. That is why many Indian soldiers joined their ranks. Recruited many Indians, they were recruited because no one, English cannot bring all the soldiers from England. French people cannot bring everyone from there. Indian soldiers only. Then why Indians are joining Europeans? Like today we are having MNCs. That same question you have to ask now. We have Indian companies also, MNCs also. Then why we are joining MNCs? Why not we are not going to MNCs and all join only Indian companies? Because today we are feeling that Indian government is there, there is safety, and the MNCs also, if they do something, commit wrong also, immediately central government will wind up those operations. That is what sovereignty means today. But in those times, it was a different scenario. That scenario is the loyalty is not like the way we are doing today. That time is only the whichever kingdom, like today soldier is there, it's like an employment from one MNC to another MNC, and after some MNCs again you will join some Indian companies. Today why it is happening? Because freely the companies are operating. Freely company people, employees can move from one place to the other place. In the similar manner, that time military personnel also, If Hyderabad state provide good salaries, they can work under Hyderabad. If Marathas are giving good salaries, they can work under Marathas. If they English or French get given them good salaries, they are going to work under French. That means only kingdoms versus kingdoms. The way we are having the spirit of nationalism, India is our country. We should not encourage any kind of foreign influence. That kind of feeling was not there that time because Indians always invited or encouraged companies from across the globe. They are not seeing English people also as if outsiders. They were also part of Indian tradition only because India is the land of all sorts of the people. Persians are also there, Afghans are also there, Arabs were also there, Central Asians were also there, English people also there, French people also there. Whoever is having the kingdom, whoever is able to provide salaries regularly, Indians were ready to serve any king. That is the kind of 18th century type of mindset. These are called mercenaries. Mercenaries means whoever pay the salary properly, they are ready to fight. Today they will fight, they will be in the Maratha army. Tomorrow they can be in Hyderabad army. Mercenaries. So that mercenary spirit is more during this time period. And during this time period, English companies were giving proper training and proper dress, proper salaries. That's why many Indians joined their service. With their regular salaries, regular training, they were more efficient when these people, this army and this army clashed with each other. Who is going to have bigger chance of success? These people. And who are the soldiers? Indian soldiers. Indian soldiers only. Indian soldiers only. But officers will be this side Europeans. Soldiers wise, this one. Fourth one, diplomacy. Fifth one, financial resources. East India Company is very financially very sound. The kind of trade they were doing, they were becoming stronger. Financial resources. And after some time, they started sponsoring certain contenders to the throne. Once they become successful, they are getting extracting as many resources. Diplomacy. If Indians are united through their diplomacy, they are going to divide the ranks. Diplomacy. In this way, Indian side weakness, on the other side, English side strength resulted in the outcome that European companies are going to defeat Indian rulers. Examples you have to find. Remember this. Now the next topic is going to be one after the other. How British are going to conquer. Like how British became masters of Carnatic region. How British became masters of Mysore region. How they conquered Marathas. How they conquered Bengal. How they conquered Awadh. How they conquered Sikh region. That is the rest of the story now. So those are the details which we will get one after the other in the topic, the British conquest of India. Now you see the British conquest of India. Before understanding how the British conquered one after the other kingdom, first of all, you have to know how many kingdoms are there, who are the founders of these kingdoms, and what is the nature of these kingdoms. This is what, these are the different people associated with these regional kingdoms, and the general characteristics of these kingdoms are like this. When you are not strong, Europeans were developing their own mechanism to defeat Indian rulers, then their strength and Indian weakness resulted in the catastrophic outcome that India became colony of the British. French people have witnessed when Indians were like this. It is the first one, French East India Company understood that if they involve in the politics, they are going to rule India. That is what the French administrator Duplessis visualized. He had a vision of controlling Indian kingdoms, but due to English diplomacy, English became successful, and finally Indians ruled in English people ruled India. All right. So this is what you have to remember, that who are the people associated with regional kingdoms, successor states, independent states, and newly emerged kingdoms. People also important from the prelims point of view. Most importantly, mains point of view like this. You apply the same kind of lesson even for today's context also. If Indian states continuously fight, if Indian states do not respect the central government, then what will happen? Foreign powers will take interest in it, and foreign powers are going to dominate India. That should not happen. That's what Constitution of India. That's what Constitution of India gave more powers to union government in comparison with state governments. But at the same time, state governments have the autonomy. At the same time, central government has more powers. Otherwise, if you don't respect the state autonomy, then states will say that we are going to become independent kingdoms. That should not happen. All right. So remember this. This is very, very important topic. Because of this kind of state of affairs only, India became colony of the British. It is very important nowadays. UPSC is giving prelims or mains related questions from this topic. The reason being, we have to learn a lesson from our own failure. This is one of the greatest failures of our history. That's why we suffered. That should not happen. That mistake should not happen once again. All right. Now I will give you the questions. Just answer this. Number one. Number one. Hyderabad state. Hyderabad state was founded by. Second one. The dynasty which ruled Mysore. Third one. What is the name of Prime Minister in Maratha Empire? What is the title of the Prime Minister in Maratha Empire? All right. Next. Punjab or Sikh Empire. A powerful Sikh empire was founded by which ruler? Answer these questions. If you answer these questions, it will be like a recap of whatever you have listened so far. All right. So in this way, we are going to proceed. Now, the real British conquest one after the one, we are going to understand in the coming classes. All right. Thank you.